are Brad and Toni Guderian,
We are normal people, just like yourselves.
who happen to work with Wycliffe Bible translators in Papua New Guinea, or PNG. What is Wycliffe Bible translators? What exactly do they do?
Wycliffe Bible Translators is an interdenominational organization seeking to serve language communities worldwide by translating Scripture into their mother tongue, or heart language.
There are about 6,800 different languages in the world, and around 2,000 of those languages still need a Bible translation. About 350 million people speak languages that have no Bible.
Where is Papua New Guinea?
PNG is located north of Australia, comprised of a part of the island of New Guinea, along with many other islands. The population is a little over 6 million, and in an area a little larger than that of California, over 800 different languages are spoken.
New Guinea is not a country. It is only a geographical island, the second largest island in the world after Greenland, and part of it belongs to the country of Indonesia.
To make it more simple, part of New Guinea is part of Papua New Guinea. The part of New Guinea that is not part of Papua New Guinea is the Indonesian province of Papua. So Papua is part of New Guinea, but Papua is not part of Papua New Guinea. Hope that clears things up for you.
We work mainly in the Kolawawa language, located in the Milne Bay province on Ferguson Island. Ferguson is 554 square miles in area. The highest point is 6,800 feet, and it is home to about 8 different languages.
Many of the 50 different languages within Milne Bay are related to each other, so we are able to sometimes work together to help with decisions about how to translate in other languages, as well as getting good advice for translating into Kolawawa. Meet our good friends, Tomas, Wilson, Levi, Yilo, and Cairo.
These are the Kolawawa people who produce first draft scriptures, translating from a variety of English translations, as well as consulting completed New Testaments in the neighboring languages of Yamaleli, Iduna, Molima, and Minavega.
Once the first drafts are typed into the computer, Brad carefully goes through them verse by verse, checking for exegetical accuracy, and also making suggestions to make the language more natural sounding in Kolawawa. They all work together to make revisions, and then the scriptures are checked for clarity by asking other Kolawawa people to read or listen to them, to answer questions about the passage, and to make further suggestions to improve it.
So far, we have published trial portions of Mark's Gospel and the epistles James, Titus, and Philemon, as well as the Old Testament books of Ruth and Jonah.
Many other books are in completed first draft form, awaiting preparation for revision. Some other books, such as Philippians and Galatians, are nearly ready for their final check before being publishable. And many books are in the being revised and being prepared to be revised stages.
One of Toni's main parts in translation is that of back translation. After scriptures have been translated into a different language, they are then translated back into English using only that translation, and in such a way that a consultant who does not know the language will be able to understand how it has been translated and we'll be able to ask questions and make suggestions for revision.
Here is a sample of what back translation looks like. Above is the NIV for comparison. You might notice we cannot translate word for word into Kolowawa. We do have a word for widow, but not a specific term for religion or orphan, and we have to find other ways to accurately express those same meanings.
The few books of the New Testament that haven't been drafted yet were divvied up among the translators earlier this year. Please pray with us that the translators are able to continue working while we are here in the States, and that the first draft of the Kolowawa New Testament will be completed before our return to Ferguson Island. Although there will still be a lot of revision and checking work ahead, the milestone of a completed New Testament first draft would be greatly encouraging to all of us.
Sometimes we increase community involvement by running workshops. Brad has taught a translation awareness course a number of times in order to educate people more about what we do and to increase the number of people interested in more direct involvement in the work itself.
When Toni runs dictionary workshops, people have fun coming up with as many words as they can think of under a given category. But the songwriting workshops are even more popular, and it is fun to hear the beautiful harmonic singing under our house as people work to translate Kolowawa words to fit the rhythms of hymns and choruses.
We'd like to show you another example of something we encounter in translation work, and to do so, it is now grammar lesson time! For those of you who are still watching this and haven't gotten up to leave, in English, we have a pronoun that includes ourself along with some other person or persons. That word is we or us. Those are the same word. We just use we for subject and us for object.
Here is something I might say to Toni. We are almost out of coffee. Maybe when I take Nikki out to practice driving the car, we can stop at the store and get some more. Those two we's are the same word, but there is a difference we usually don't think about. The first one includes Toni, the person I am talking to. But the second one means Nikki and I and excludes Toni in its meaning, even though she is still the one I am speaking to. We just know from the context what each we means.
Greek is the same as English when it comes to we, but Kolowawa and many other languages have different words, depending on whether the person spoken to is included or excluded.
Look at Mark 9:5. Peter said to Jesus, "Rabbi, it is good for us to be here. Let us put up 3 shelters, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." We don't know if Peter's us's meant it is good for all 6 of us to be here, let's all 6 build shelters, or it is good for the 3 of us to be here with you, the 3 of us will build 3 shelters for you 3, or what exactly? And Peter isn't around for us to ask him. We carefully thought about how to translate it, and we decided to use inclusive for the first one and exclusive for the second. So Peter is saying that it is good for all 6 of them to be there, and that he and James and John will do the building for Jesus, Moses, and Elijah.
We don't spend all of our time at the Kolowawa village. The center at Ukarumpa, up in the much cooler highlands of mainland PNG, provides us with some relief from the heat, humidity, and stress of village life. But there are other reasons to be there as well.
We attend different workshops that help us in a variety of ways on how to best understand and translate certain books of the Bible, how to use computer programs in our work, and even on preparing for our times in the States.
Brad is a translation consultant, helping to check translations in other languages, and much of that occurs in Ukarumpa. He has also taught a one-week English refresher course to Papua New Guinean translators prior to their 5-week translator training course for the past 4 years.
Toni is a lexicography consultant. That's just a fancy way of saying that she helps people compile dictionaries for the languages they're working in. She helps in a wide range of ways, from helping to decide whether or not certain types of related words should be separated or under the same entry, to how to use complex computer programs and data files.
And the third place we spend some of our time is in the Milne Bay Regional Center at the town of Alatau. Brad has done some consultant checking there and had some of Kolowawa translation checked as well.
We've also both worked as mentors in a multi-language program, but one of the main things we do in Alatau is shop for supplies in preparation for trips out to the village.
The usual way we get to the village from Ukarumpa is by a 2.5-hour plane trip down to Alatau one day, and then a 12 to 14-hour boat trip out to the island. The trip out of the village is usually pretty much the same, only backwards. Although there have been a couple of times when Brad has been out on his own and has taken the boat back when it is also picking up other passengers from many other places. And those have been 2-day boat rides. And Brad is not crazy about boat travel.
Toni claims to enjoy the boat, although when the sea is really rough, I think we both feel pretty much the same way about it.
But don't get the idea that our whole life is all work and 14-hour boat rides and no play. We and a lot of others like us wouldn't be able to keep going if it were.
Toni enjoys organizing things like craft fairs and concerts every year.
And Brad enjoys playing in concerts.
We've both been heavily involved in the annual banquet for 11th and 12th graders for the past 4 years, in which the Teen Center building is transformed into a special place in accordance with the secret theme of banquet. The kids enjoy fun activity booths, a fantastic meal, and a humorous, entertaining play. All built, cooked, prepared, written, and performed by their parents, teachers, youth leaders, and other members of the community. Toni was the chair this year, and the theme was Christmas.
We probably won't be quite so involved with banquet and some other things now that we will no longer have any kids in the Ukarumpa High School. We arrived in PNG 21 years ago as a childless couple, and now we return once again as a childless couple. This is a transitional time in other ways as well, as we seek to revitalize the Kolowawa translation program and as we reassess some of our methods and focuses.
Maybe this is a transitional time for some of you as well, as you consider how you might become more involved in the work of Bible translation. We certainly welcome any who are not already prayer or financial partners with us to consider joining us in whatever way you can. Or if not with us specifically, maybe in some other aspect of Bible translation work.
Maybe God is even inviting you to join us as a translator, or in one of the many vital support roles, such as teacher, computer technician, medical worker, pilot, mechanic, trainer, children's home parent, manager, or administrator.
And thank you so much to those of you who do encourage and support us in this work in so many different ways.
We couldn't do it without you.
So whether you are faithful partners who have been with us for years,
or newly joining us in this work,
or somewhere in between,
we look forward to your partnership with us as we continue serving the Kolowawa people and others in Papua New Guinea by bringing them the Word of God in their own mother tongue.